I want to welcome back our panel this morning. We start with USA Strong Executive Director Aaron Elmore, the host of Stacy on the Right, Stacy Washington, GOP strategist Liz Mayer back with us, and our constitutional attorney Amir Benno. Finally, a part of the Newsmax family, Amir. Couldn't make me happier to say that officially. You were a tough one to get, but we got you. Welcome.
Thank you. You said it just like I wrote it, Rob.
That's exactly it. I read the script you sent over.
I'm thrilled and honored and privileged to be part of the Newsmax family.
We're glad to have you officially, Amir, and we will start with you. I want to play a soundbite from Governor Andrew Cuomo speaking yesterday. This was his big quote-unquote apology, where he said, "I apologize," about 50 times. Take a listen.
I now understand that I acted in a way that made people feel uncomfortable. It was unintentional, and I truly and deeply apologize for it.
Well, Amir, he was apparently, he's a bit of an actor. We saw that throughout the spring. He looks like he's holding back tears there. Do you think the apology means anything? Does it do anything? Is it genuine?
No, it's not sincere at all. And, you know, he repeated over and over in that press conference that he didn't make any physical contact with any women. And he kept insisting that that was really the benchmark, which it isn't, of course. He created an atmosphere that was hostile. And he asked for people to reserve judgment on him. As we noted earlier in the hour, he didn't reserve judgment himself. Whether it was President Trump, whether it was the two impeachments, whether it was Justice Kavanaugh. So now he's asking people to extend him a courtesy that he couldn't extend to others. So no, it's inauthentic, and hopefully people see it as such.
Liz, welcome back to Wake Up. I want to get your thoughts. And I know the circumstances are a little different here, but doesn't a prosecutor love nothing more than a defendant that sits there and runs their mouth?
Well, for sure. Yeah, that's true. But I think with Andrew Cuomo, I mean, he's got a number of problems on this front. And one of them is that we have a very widely circulated, excuse me, my cat is having a coughing fit, and I don't know why.
That's just a cat.
We have a very widely circulated photo of live TV. What can you say?
Yeah.
We have a very widely circulated photo of him literally grabbing a woman and trying to kiss her, and her looking absolutely terrified and very disturbed, and it's obviously unwanted. And
Right.
He can say whatever he wants about not having understood that, but I just don't understand how somebody looks at somebody in the face when they have that expression and doesn't understand that. And that's the real fundamental problem here, is he can apologize as much as he wants, but it's very hard to believe that he actually didn't understand what he was doing at the time and that he just did it anyway.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, innocent until proven guilty, but if you look at her eyes, her face, while he's got her clutched in his cat paws there. I was going to say bear paws, but we'll go with cat, Liz, because of the cat
yeah, very
this
thematic,
morning.
right?
But I mean, you look at her face there. This is not like a comfortable situation, and he looks like a 63-year-old creep right there. I want to play a soundbite from the governor of New York saying to wait for the report before you pass judgment. Unfortunately, we don't live in a country that tends to do that. The court of public opinion, I think, is starting to already make their ruling when it comes to Andrew Cuomo. But listen to this soundbite, then Stacy will pick it up with you.
To wait for the facts from the Attorney General's report before forming an opinion. Get the facts, please, before forming an opinion. And the Attorney General is doing that review. I will fully cooperate with it, and then you will have the facts.
Stacy, how surprised are you that it's sexual harassment that might bring down the governor and not 15,000 dead elderly nursing home residents?
I'm not surprised at all. First of all, most people aren't really paying attention to the fact that Cuomo received a significant amount of donations from the nursing home industry during his campaigns over time. So that is something that's not being really discussed. But Rob, let's just face it. There are other people who are governors who have done the same things that Cuomo did. They sent sick patients who were elderly back into nursing homes, and significant numbers of people died. So if Cuomo is the one that they sacrifice on the Barbie, the other governors get off scot-free, and that's the real story here.
Aaron, your thoughts?
You know, I agree with Stacy completely. And now we know exactly why Cuomo got an Emmy. That performance that he gave was Emmy worthy. And just like actors and celebrity that have no sincerity, that's what he showed there.
Good
I'm
point.
sorry. if. And that's all he said was if. And I do believe, as Stacy said, that there are other governors, like in my home state of Pennsylvania and New Jersey, that have done the same thing. They're just sitting there saying, all right, let's let Cuomo be the fall guy here.
Yeah.
But I believe that they are using these women. They say believe all women. And right here, you know what? They kind of are. They are backing these women because you know why? It's easier to let these women be the sacrificial lambs than him to go down through these 15,000 deaths in nursing homes. And
Such
it's
a
really
good point.
sad. And these are both serious issues. Let's not just let it be the women. Let's also tackle the nursing home issue because Cuomo deserves all of it.
Hey, I want to move on to another topic, but as an attorney, a constitutional attorney, Amir, do you think that Cuomo has sort of set a trap for himself here with what he was saying yesterday?
Well, it never helps when somebody who's a subject of criminal investigations and an attorney general investigation runs his mouth about something without his attorney being there. So that certainly can't help him. You know, I'll just point out that Janice Dean made a remark, which is, look, you know, if Cuomo goes down for his sexual harassment of these women as opposed to the nursing homes, that's like getting Al Capone on tax evasion.
Exactly.
Either way,
great point.
you know, you can bring him down. So let's not lose sight of that.
Good point. By the way,
Rob, he could take some lessons from you on the dramatic pauses from what you do with the Saki Dodge.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it's becoming my trademark. Liz loves it, I know, the Saki Dodge, big part of the show.
I do. I love the Saki Dodge.
Yeah. All right, I want to, I'm going to play the soundbite, and then I want to kind of move through this. But we've got a man in the Oval Office, 78 years old. Everyone says, that's just Joe. It's Sleepy Joe. Imagine if Donald Trump called 35 million people in Texas what Joe Biden called them yesterday from the Oval Office. Take a listen.
These masks make a difference. We are on the cusp of being able to fundamentally change the nature of this disease because of the way in which we're able to get vaccines in people's arms. We've been able to move that all the way up to the end of May to have enough for every American, to get every adult American to get a shot. And the last thing we need is the Neanderthal thinking that in the meantime, everything's fine, take off your mask, forget it. It still matters.
Liz, this reminds me of Hillary Clinton calling people deplorables, Republicans. And Neanderthal, by the way, is defined as uncivilized, unintelligent, or uncouth. And Joe Biden just called everyone in Texas that.
Well, I think actually what's really important to focus on here is that while Governor Abbott has removed the mask mandate, that in no way indicates that people are actually going to stop wearing masks, right? From what I've read, Targets, Starbucks, other very big points of congregation in Texas, major stores, restaurants, cafes, et cetera, are going to continue requiring people to wear masks on their premises. And so that's one of the issues that I have with this comment, setting aside the fact that I think, yes, he probably should avoid insulting people. It's not actually clear that lifting the mask mandate is going to result in people not wearing masks.
Yeah.
And I think that's the point here, is that it would make a lot more sense to be emphasizing that, sure, mask mandates may come and go. People need to take responsibility for themselves and behave in an appropriate manner, given that we're still in a pandemic. And it's not really about what the government tells you to do so much as it is about you taking personal responsibility. And my suspicion is that probably a lot of people in Texas are going to continue wearing their masks out in public,
you certainly
not just where they're
like
required to in Target or Starbucks. And I don't think that this is going to have quite the effect that people are anticipating.
Well, I think it's also, I want to move on to one more topic too, but Joe Biden, the virtue signaling, he's been vaccinated. He's gotten both doses, and he's sitting there in the Oval Office wearing a mask. And at this point, the virtue signaling might be sending the wrong message, because the goal is ultimately to take the masks off, get America vaccinated, get life back to normal. Some state had to do it. Why not let it be Texas? Aaron, question for you. This is developing, and it could become a much bigger story that affects millions and millions of Catholics here in the United States and Catholics throughout the world. Johnson & Johnson, that vaccine was just approved, and now bishops are weighing in on whether or not Catholics here in the U.S. should be taking this Johnson & Johnson one-shot vaccine, because apparently it was made using abortion-derived cells. One Catholic bishop said the vaccine was now morally compromised and that Catholics should look to other available vaccines. Your thoughts?
Wow. That's all I have to say. I think this is highly personal. I think that we need to ask. This is the one time when I would say to the doctors, can you explain this to me? If I was a person of faith and if I was very serious about this, I would say, please explain to me exactly how this was derived, because I have heard conflicting reports from doctors saying that it wasn't derived from fetal tissue, To me, this is something I have no opinion on. I don't want to touch it. I personally think this is your faith. You've got to consult your doctor, consult your God, and figure out what makes the most sense for you, because everyone has, this is a free country. As far as I see it, this is still a free country. If you want to do something, you've got to do what's best for you. I don't think the government should tell you. I think that's between you and God.
Stacy, I'll give you the final thought. I should mention that Pope Francis, by the way, was vaccinated with the Pfizer vaccine not long ago.
So aborted fetal cells were used so they're fetal cell lines, and they were the basis for a number of vaccines, and this was decades ago. And so those aborted fetal cell lines exist in perpetuity. So it's not new aborted fetal cells, but if you are a person of the Catholic faith, which I'm not, I'm an evangelical, Bible-thumping, gun-toting Christian. But if you're a Catholic, the Pope's statement on that means you need to take one of the other vaccines. So I agree with Aaron. Talk to your doctor about it, but most importantly, do your own research and figure out what the Bible says and compare it to what you're planning on doing. As a person of faith, the ultimate order is God's word. And for Catholics, the ultimate order is the Pope. And so you got to govern yourself accordingly.
Yep, I agree. I think I am a Catholic, and I think I have not been vaccinated when my number's up. I plan to. And if it's the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, I think that God will forgive, given the circumstances. But again, that's up to everyone to make that call. Panel, great stuff. Thank you so much. Really enjoyed it. Amir, again, welcome officially to the Newsmax family.
Thank you.
Congrats.
All right. Stay with us, guys. More to come after the break.